Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our September Rooster Booster Breakfast. So glad to see a room full of people this morning. This is awesome. To begin our program, we're going to have our invocation and pledge, so I'm going to ask that you stand. To do our pledge this morning, typically I get talking points about the folks who are coming up, but Diego sent me a resume, so hold on. This is great. If you know Diego, you're not surprised. Sophomore at Brescia University, historian with Student Government Association, tennis member and player. We played all summer long. Good times, Diego. Also a member of the SAAC and a work study of the Institutional Advancement Office with our prayer this morning. Brescia sophomore, Diego Laguna.
Good morning, everyone. Now, let us pray. Thank you, God, for every opportunity that we have every day in our lives. For me, it is a great opportunity to come here, to America, to Owensboro, and study at Brescia University. Thank you for that, and for the people who have supported me and impacted me in my life. Thank you for the people in this room and the impact that they have on those around me and on this community. May all that we do be focused on caritas, Jesus' call to love others as he has loved us. Every minute is an opportunity to change the world. Help us to take advantage of that. And as we say in my country, vayan con Dios. Amen.
And with our Pledge of Allegiance today, also from Brescia, he is a senior, plays basketball, and is a psychology major. Please welcome up Lou Penn.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, you can actually remain standing for this morning's Mingle Minute. We love the Mingle Minute. It's so fun. It's a great opportunity to meet people, to network, and to hear your favorite theme songs from TV from the 80s and 90s. Yes, indeed. We went through Golden Girls, the Good Times theme, and the Facts of Life. You're welcome. Yes. All right. It is time to recognize our secret shaker this morning, representing OMU. Brad Houghton, where are you? Right there in the middle. So who are we going to recognize today? All right, Cassie, come on over. Come on up. We have a gift for you. Although she's thanking the people as she walks up, this is great. So we're hooking you up with a Brescia Bearcats gift bag. How about that? You are welcome. Thank you. All right, it is time to welcome our new chamber members. But if you all were here last month, you know that we actually have to also welcome our brand new director of membership with the chamber. So Kitty Galloway Jones, come on up here. Give her a round of applause. Her first Rooster Booster in her official capacity. So you all know that when Shelley had this position, that her way of welcoming our new members to the chamber was with a bell. Now, Kitty obviously has to find her own way to do it, and she's done that. So I'm going to have her explain, number one, what she's holding, and then this family tradition that she has that's going to now make its way into the history of Rooster Booster.
Good morning, everyone. So in my family, we love sports and all things activities outdoors. And this is called a loud cup. I'm going to demo. And we also love to celebrate wins, big or small. So we're going to use a little something else. Chad's going to explain it to you. But we're going to celebrate our new members in true Galloway fashion.
Okay. So, and by the way, so you're now honorary Galloways. And I love that cup sounds really flatulent. That's really, really attractive at 7:48 in the morning. Okay, you ready to do first new member? Or should we talk about this first? Oh, we'll do this first. Okay, so let me get my notes here because this is very involved. Okay, so her oldest sister's son's travel baseball team. Oldest sister sons, suddenly we're like Ancestry.com. And another mom, they celebrate every great play with this. They do whoop whoop. Oh, some of you already know the drill. Look at the Castlin stepping up. That's amazing. Softball, yes. Okay, so then Kitty's sister insisted that everybody answer with, okay, so whoop whoop. Oh my gosh, you're going to crush this. So that's how we're going to do this with the new members, okay? We have the flatulent cup. Do that again. Whoop whoop. But new members, you have to do the whoop whoops. And it can't be a lame whoop whoop. It has to be a really excited, I'm so pumped to be a member of the chamber whoop whoop. And then we, to welcome you into the family and cradle you in our Rooster Booster bosoms, will do the woos, okay? Got it? Okay, we'll see how this goes in the first trial. And up first, we have Irvin Cable Construction. Yes, a leading force in the telecommunications infrastructure industry, specializing in the engineering, construction, and installation of fiber optic networks. Rich history spanning over 40 years, Irvin Cable has consistently delivered cutting-edge solutions, enabling seamless connectivity and empowering communities across the nation, founded on principles of innovation, quality, and integrity. Irvin Cable has established itself as a trusted partner for telecommunications companies, municipalities, and private enterprises alike. From rural areas to bustling urban centers, Irvin Cable's expertise spans diverse landscapes, ensuring that no community is left behind in the digital age. As technology continues to evolve, Irvin Cable remains at the forefront, pioneering new solutions and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in telecommunications infrastructure. With a steadfast commitment to customer satisfaction and a track record of success, Irvin Cable Construction is poised for continued growth in leadership in the industry. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the chamber, Irvin Cable Construction. So it's whoop whoop. Woo! Yes, we got it. This is only going to get better with age. Okay. Oscars is a family-friendly Mexican sports bar where vibrant culture and thrilling sports come together. The venue designed to provide a lively and welcoming atmosphere for guests of all ages. You can enjoy authentic Mexican cuisine, from sizzling fajitas and fresh guacamole, while cheering on your favorite teams on the big screens. With a dedicated kids menu, it's the perfect place for families to gather to celebrate and create lasting memories. You can join them for a unique dining experience that combines the excitement of sports with the warmth of Mexican hospitality. Welcome to the chamber, Oscars. Woo! Yes! Killing it. I do too. This is great.
Larry doing it? Yes. Okay, good. Thanks.
I love that you put five. Okay. Keller Williams, Elite Realty, Jamie Beatty. Passionate about delivering an unparalleled real estate experience, drawing on extensive knowledge and local market expertise. Jamie strives to alleviate the stress that comes with one of life's most significant transitions while representing your best interests every step of the way. Allow Jamie to help you transform your real estate aspirations into reality. Jamie, welcome to the chamber. Woo! The Chad Lake Foundation is dedicated to empowering individuals affected by addiction and incarceration. They offer education, skills training, and support while also advocating for policy changes to support this impacted population. The Leaders of Vital Experience Love support group meets at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday night at Rooted Recovery and offers workshops on topics such as budgeting, leadership, public speaking, and advocacy. And by the way, they have a fundraising event on September 7th, and more information can be found on the website, thechadlakefoundation.org. Okay, y'all, you brought a whole table of people. This needs to be rowdy. Welcome to the chamber, the Chad Lake Foundation. Woo! That's awesome. Revenite helps clients get out of debt early so they can free up money to retire comfortably and protect everything important to them along the way. Revenite provides this service, by the way, at no cost to their clients. You all ready? All right, welcome to the chamber, Revenite. Whoa, that was good. Oh yes, Chick-fil-A Highway 54 offers the local community its signature hospitality and famous chicken sandwiches, known for its exceptional service and high-quality ingredients. The new location provides a welcoming atmosphere for dine-in, drive-through, which they have down to a science, let's be honest, and curbside service. Whether you're stopping by for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A on Highway 54 is committed to delivering delicious meals and a positive dining experience every time. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the chamber, Chick-fil-A! Woo! 923 Media is a family-owned videography business dedicated to delivering high-quality video production services. From capturing memorable events to producing professional content, they bring creativity and attention to detail in every project. The goal is to align with your vision, ensuring that your moments and messages are beautifully captured and shared. At 923 Media, we're committed to transforming ideas into impactful visual experiences that resonate. Now we need an audio experience that resonates. Welcome to the chamber, 923 Media. Oh. Kitty, what happened to the cup on that blow? That was, yeah, it's getting a little tired, I think. All right, Click LLC. Taking on ceiling fan and lighting fixture installation presents a spectrum of challenges, no kidding, that are daunting to the most seasoned DIY enthusiasts. Click Complete Lighting Installation Kit is a plug-and-play device that makes mounting and installing ceiling, wall lights, and ceiling fans a breeze. I'm assuming that pun was intended. Meet the fantastic foursome that bring over 100 years of combined experiences in new product introduction, electronics manufacturing, home construction, asset management, and leadership. Welcome to the chamber, Click LLC. Woo! And finally, Rocco is a canine search and rescue dog. Yeah, bring Rocco up here. This is awesome. Rocco specializes and is certified in land human remains detection, trailing, and area search with recent training to include water recovery. His powerful olfactory abilities and exceptional training make him an essential part of recovery missions. Working alongside his handler, Amy Tipton, Rocco contributes to the Kentucky Canine Search and Rescue Foundation's efforts across the state. His dedication, focus, and expertise in multiple disciplines make him a standout in the field of canine search and rescue work. I guess we should adapt this and say woo-woo, we'll say woof woof. How about that? Yeah, that better? Thank you, thank you. I'm here till 8:30. Please welcome to the chamber, Rocco. Woof woof. Yes. Kitty, that's a great debut. I love it. That's awesome. Welcome all of our new chamber members. Give them a round of applause. So it is time to recognize our Ambassador of the Month, and I think it's been a minute since he's won this thing, so we're glad to welcome back up from South Central Bank, Kevin Gibson. Kevin Gidding. Kevin is snagging a $50 gift card to the Miller House, by the way. That sounds awesome. We also want to recognize some other volunteers, actually the ambassadors who were volunteers during the chamber golf scramble. And we have goodies for them today, too. Oh, you're going to be, okay, this is great. Sure, yeah. Candace will meet you down front, but we have, to show our thanks and appreciation, we have gift cards to Mellow Mushroom for you. So I'll announce their names. We'll give them a big round of applause at the end. So come on up if you're here. Amber Farmer, Charlotte Newton, Corey Smith, Chloe Pryor, Jan Goldman, Jennifer Richardson, Kinsey Andrews, Kevin Gibson, Mandy Hicks, Minga Troglin, and Stephanie Bertram. Give them all a big round of applause for all their hard work. Here comes Jennifer from the River Park Center, everybody. Got to brag on her for a second. Did you all see? So she had this, she actually came up with this big fundraiser for the River Park, basically the initiative that exposes kids to arts, right? So it makes arts accessible to, yeah, seriously, yeah, it's amazing. So she came up with this idea for this Bourbon and Bags for Broadway fundraiser that was this past Thursday at River Park. $84,000 raised in a night. Making sure that kids in this area have access to those Broadway shows, which will change lives. So good job, Jennifer. And thanks for helping with the golf scramble, too. And enjoy Mellow Mushroom. Can I go with you? Thank you. It is time to introduce our breakfast sponsor. Love when this guy's here. Always love to hear what he has to say. So please give a big round of applause to Father Larry from Brescia.
Good morning. It's always a highlight for us at Brescia University every year to sponsor this in September. By now, we've welcomed our new freshmen and returning students, and we're excited to see the year unfold. I'm grateful to the Chamber for this opportunity to showcase our mission and work, and this year I'm especially eager to hear from our keynote speaker, Jamie Buskell, who is a Brescia alumnus. Thank you also to our Vice Chair of our Board of Trustees, Susan Montalvo-Gesser, for joining me on the dais. This year, I also want to acknowledge the Ursuline Sisters who are celebrating 150 years since their founding in Davis County. Brescia University is an important part of their vision and work. 99 years later, Brescia continues the good work begun by these courageous women. Of course, that means, if you notice, 99, we're celebrating our centennial next year, so be on the lookout for some great events. So many of you have been part of our mission, and I'd like to ask all of our alumni, faculty, staff, trustees, and students to please stand that are here this morning. I'm pleased to see that we have Charlie Kamoff, Larry O'Brien, and Ernie Talaferro here because I think they were here in that 99 years ago when one of the great satisfactions of this job is seeing the reach that Brescia has beyond the graduation of our students. Thank you. One of the values we received from the Ursulines is to read the signs of the times and adapt. This has been a characteristic of our university since its founding, and it is in that spirit that we have been working on adding additional graduate programs over the last few years. In addition to our long-established Master of Social Work and MBA, we have added a Master in Speech-Language Pathology, a Master in Clinical Psychology, a Master in Information Services with emphases in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data analytics. And today I want to highlight our newest initiative, which is the creation of a physician assistant school. We're only at the beginning of this process, and we will still need a lot of hard work and to be reviewed and finally approved by the accreditor. So there's still lots of work ahead of us to meet the required standards before we can welcome our first students in 2026. The following video that was produced for this does a great job explaining how all this will happen. St. Angelo Merisi, the founder of the Ursuline Sisters, told us that we should read the signs of the times and adapt. Well, one of the signs of the times right now is a greater need for healthcare professions. And in working with the hospital and other higher ed institutions, we have determined that we can take the leap and pursue the possibility of getting a PA program here at Brescia University.
I believe the PA program is going to help Owensboro Health just because it gives us more variety for recruitment. We can train here, use our resources within the community, and again, it's another beautiful way to partner.
I'm excited about the potential of the students that we can bring to Brescia, and hopefully they can stay here, bring their own ideas, bring their own cultures, bring their own trials and tribulations to us, and in that way, it can only help us grow as a community.
What we always known about this region of Kentucky was the incredible amount of talent that we have here, not only in our students that go through our P-12 and our post-secondary institutions, but also our faculty and our administration that operate those schools and those institutions. What the Brescia initiative is going to do for this region would dramatically change healthcare in our region, which is the primary goal of Health Force Kentucky.
The program is hopeful to provide access to clinical rotations in the Western Kentucky region. With that is the hope that when students graduate, they will stay in the area and to continue to see patients in Western Kentucky and build their lives here.
As a Christian institution, we are guided by that first principle, love one another as we've been loved. Well, what better way to love someone than by serving them when they're sick or in need of help, when they're infirm. And we're called to heal the sick or to care for the sick or to care for those who need a little bit of extra care. And so this ties in, I think, beautifully with our mission. And especially since in the Catholic tradition, healthcare has always been an important part of how we live out the teachings of Christ through the healing ministry of Jesus. And we hope to continue that with the PA program. An important part of the accreditation process is the hiring of a program director and medical director, along with the initial faculty, to plan the curriculum. So I'd like to introduce, you saw her on the video, our program director, Blair Whitaker, who's with us today. And Blair, would you stand so everybody can see you and welcome you to the community? Blair is guiding the process towards accreditation. In a very special way, I want to thank Health Force Kentucky and our closest collaborators, Owensboro Health, Owensboro Technical and Community College, and Kentucky Wesleyan College. This effort would not be possible without their support as partners. I can't tell you what a privilege it is to be part of Health Force Kentucky and how important that work will be to the healthcare needs of our community and beyond. Not just with our PA program, but all of the new initiatives that are coming from this collaboration. I think it's important to recognize that this PA school won't just benefit Brescia students. It will help the entire region, and students from KWC and OCTC will have preferential transfer pathways. High school students who are interested in a PA career path can begin their college experience at any of the local colleges with the ability to receive their PA education without having to leave town. We still have a great deal of work ahead of us, but it's exciting to watch this unfold. Lest you think that we've forgotten about our undergraduate students, the Brescia difference for our associate and baccalaureate students is alive and thriving, both on ground and online. I have another quick video to show you about that.
Hey everybody, my name is Addie and I'm a first-year freshman here at Brescia University, and today is our move-in day. I arrived early with my parents and we began to move everything into my room with only a few hiccups. I got into my room and I began to make myself feel at home. We decorated my room and I think it looks super cute and I love the way it all turned out. After that, I went with both new and old friends to the Moore Center to explore our campus resources. The staff and the other students were all so nice. Then to get in the college spirit, we checked out the Bearcat Corner, which is our campus's apparel shop, before heading to the cafeteria for some lunch. Foam pit! This stuff was blowing in the wind and it was literally everywhere. Then, to unwind and wrap up this full day, me and my friends all decided to play a nice game of Uno. I'm so excited to start my first year at Brescia University. I think I'm really going to like it here.
These undergraduate students are something, and they are a force to behold. So I've talked long enough, and I want you to see what they're up to. There's more coming, lots of plans yet ahead, as you might be asking, what's next? So with this final video, you'll get to see what's next.
Minions! Tonight, we steal the moon!
That's great. And I love that even Father Larry can make very subtle shade. Just seems so fun. He was like, I have another video. And it still seems so nice. It's so great. And it's time for our chamber update. Here's our president and CEO, Candace Brait.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see this great room full of friends and family and people moving this community forward. So I'm going to start off with our special guest. But Father, I have to ask Father Larry something real fast. Okay. We're always prepared when we get here in the mornings, and we just go with the flow. We have a lot of special guests here with us today. We have our Leadership Owensboro class and so many others, but we're going to start off with our elected officials and other special guests that work to make our community better. We have our Kentucky State Senator, Gary Boswell, our Majority Caucus Chair, Kentucky State Representative, Suzanne Miles in the back.
Found this on the web.
Well then. I didn't do that. Just so y'all know, this is not me. City Commissioner Bob Glenn, City Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright, City Manager Nate Pagan, County Commissioner Larry Condor, County Commissioner Chris Caslin, Sheriff Brad Youngman, Jailer Art Maglinger, Commonwealth's Attorney Mike Van Meter. And today we have two new people that have moved to our community recently. First of all, I'd like to welcome the River Park Center's new GM, Chris Patterson. Chris, welcome. And we'll give everybody a round of applause and welcome you, Chris. Welcome home. And lastly, one of my former classmates, she 30 years later comes back to our community, and it's one of those boomerang success stories. Melanie Brooks, so glad to have you here. We were in homeroom together, 113, and it's so glad to have you back, leading Brescia and being part of the team moving our community forward. Thanks, Melanie. Natalie Hayden, take note. We have another 88 person back in the community. September ribbon cuttings. We have a great ribbon cutting next 2 weeks celebrating Grits Transit, their new facility edition, and that's Wednesday the 17th. Tours are starting at 10 and the ribbon cuttings at noon. Our ambassador formal meeting is on Wednesday, September the 11th. Project Empower Girls and Goals, where we're doing golf now, teaching golf lessons to our girls in the Girls Inc. program with Project Empower on Wednesday, September the 11th at 4:15. Coffee and Conversations for CYP is at Kahawa Java on the 17th. And Guys and Ties are ramping up for a new great year on Tuesday, September the 17th at Burns Middle School, and they've added Tamarack Elementary. And if y'all recall, that's a group where CYP young men go into schools and teach employable skills and interpersonal skills, social skills, and also other life skills to our young men in middle school who may not have male influence in their lives. A volunteer opportunity we have is Groovin' on the Green, and that's Saturday, September the 21st. The CYP are offering a special volunteer opportunity, but we're encouraging everyone in the community to celebrate this great event. It was great last year, and it's going to be even better this year. And then the Community Development Committee meeting is Tuesday, September the 24th at Brew Bridge, and that group is really doing some amazing things that we'll celebrate some of that today. And then our formal lunch meeting will be September the 25th, and Leslie McCarty will be there to talk about the Go Vote initiative that we're doing and also voting. That's sponsored by River Valley Behavioral Health. Secret Social of Happy Hour for CYP. You don't know where it is until you register, and they're going to let you know right before. So it's a secret social hour. So be sure to sign up ahead of time so you'll be able to have the release time at 3 p.m. that day. And congratulations to this year's Leadership Owensboro class. I am going to introduce you all for the first time of being introduced to the community, and I'm going to ask that you go over here, and we're going to take a group shot. So you'll get up, we'll walk across, and go over there. Stephanie Bertram from BHG Realty. Derek Blair, Southern Star Central Gas Pipelines. Katie Case, Owensboro Health Regional Hospital. Kevin Clark, Southern Star Central Gas Pipelines. Captain Shannon Coombs, the Davis County Detention Center. Brittany Cotner, EM Ford. Brittany Crabtree, Owensboro Municipal Utilities. Blake Edge, Green River Area Development District. Maddie Edwards, Davis County Public Schools. Lori Etheridge, Brescia University. Donna Galloway, German American. Krista Gibson, Big Rivers Electric. Kathy Griffin, Owensboro Health Park. Dr. Ryan Hall, Owensboro Community and Technical College. Captain Dwayne Harper, Davis County Sheriff's Department. Stephanie Higdon, Southern Star Central Gas Pipelines. Ian Howard, Commonwealth Concrete Coatings, LLC. Caroline Izari, River Valley Behavioral Health. Gabby Jackson, Wendell Foster. Jeremy Kiefer, River Valley Behavioral Health. Lieutenant Jason Lee with the Owensboro Police Department. Harley Metcalf with the Carpenters Union Local 224. Gil Mitchell, Owensboro Health. Chris Murphy, Fast Tech Services. Y'all can keep clapping, you got it. Christy Netherton, River Valley Behavioral Health. Charlotte Newton, Houchins Insurance Group. Kendra Nichols, Owensboro Riverport Authority. Aaron Payne, Baird. Rachel Ramsey, Owensboro Health Regional Hospital. Brian Roberts, Owensboro Fire Department. Jana Russellberg, Big Rivers Electric Corp. Alicia Storm, Owensboro Public Schools. Dustin Warren, Warren Farms. Rhonda Welch, Davis County Public Schools. And Megan Wiggins, UniFirst. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 Leadership Owensboro class. Good things to come from this group, just like 2024 is already setting things on fire here. Great stuff. And I'm going to go ahead. Should I go ahead and wait? You're the MC.
I would say, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead? Okay. Okay. I got to go over here.
Say chamber.
Our educators in the workplace cohort is starting back, and our first session is an IT STEM session on Tuesday, September the 24th, and that's when we take around 35 teachers throughout the year to different workplaces to expose them to career opportunities for their students, and we have people from middle schools, high schools, and colleges involved this year. We're really excited. So the first session is September 24th at IT STEM, and that's right before you all go to your Leadership Owensboro retreat for 2 days here in Owensboro. The City Commission Forum, we are hosting that at City Hall on Tuesday, September the 24th at 5:30. We encourage everyone to be involved, to come out and to hear what your City Commission candidates, what they believe in and what they want to do to move our communities forward. And then Thursday, October the 3rd, the Mayoral Forum will be here in this room. It's sponsored by OCTC. Red, White, and Blue, which is sponsored by Big Rivers, will be Thursday, October 24th at 4:30 on the Davis County Courthouse lawn. All the candidates on the ballot, major candidates on the ballot, will be there to talk about their platforms. It's a stump speech platform, so it's a lot of fun to get out and see the candidates. We have sample ballots so you can keep track of who you want to vote for when you decide to show up on Election Day. Okay, go vote. So we have an initiative we're doing on I Vote Because that the CYP is working on with our team. And we ask that you're going to be able to scan this barcode and download the I Vote Because and take a selfie and send it to us. And we're going to post those the several weeks leading up to the election just to encourage our community to get out, go to the polls and vote and participate in this democratic process. And as employers, it's really important for you all to make sure that you not just give time for your employees to vote, but also to encourage them, to explain to them why it's not just a right, it's a privilege, and that they need to do this. Thank you. Thanks for all that were here last week honoring our minority leader, Mitch McConnell, here in this room. It was a great event. Big thanks to Owensboro Health for sponsoring that event. It was one of those that we'll cherish, and it was great to be able to honor the leader for his contributions to our state and our Commonwealth and our country. So our 2024 Golf Classic sponsors, thank you all so much for making that event happen. It was a crazy week last week. We're still kind of coming off of that, but it was a great day, wonderful. Weedman won, they came in first. Owensboro Health, great sponsor again, and your team being out there on the course was so much fun. We want to thank everybody for coming out and doing business with one another and supporting our organization. So at your place, you have two of our print publications. Before you've got our Owensboro Chamber Current, which has got a whole, it's within Owensboro Living. Make sure you look at that. And then also the new relocation guide is there. It's a collaboration that we do with Tanner Publishing. It's meant for talent recruitment and retention, mostly for people you're trying to recruit for professional jobs. It's a great way to be the first in line. And we also have our Owensboro Magazine, which is coming out in January. Those ad sales are on right now, and that's a collaboration with the Messenger Inquirer. Thank you, your renewals. You look at your Chamber Matters at your place. Those are people who have renewed within the last month. We always ask that you consider doing business with Chamber members first, because being a member of this Chamber, it doesn't just say that you're a validated business person. It also means that you believe in something bigger than yourself, and that you believe when we all get together, we can make things go better for our community. So, Amped Up Artistry. This is a fantastic program that we're going to celebrate immediately after Rooster Booster today. Our Chamber Young Professionals Community Development Committee got together and decided they wanted to do something about the large electrical boxes around town that were the gray boxes. So they commissioned artwork. They got sponsors to pay for this and collaborated with OMU, which your team is amazing, Sonia. You know that, and Tim. But this is going to be something we're going to celebrate today, and we ask for you to leave. When we all leave, we can go together to our first box. But I want to introduce the artist today that made this possible. If I can find them. Well, maybe I don't have it anymore. Hey. Oh, Chad's got it. Okay, and I'd like for you all to stand. Rex Robinson, and that's sponsored by the City of Owensboro. Brittany Samsel, sponsored by OMU. Petra Mulligan, sponsored by Owensboro Health. Will Evans, sponsored by the Fraternal Order of Eagles. And Sunflowers by Rex Robinson. Thank you all so much for sharing your talent with us, to the sponsors and the CYP for continuing to make things great in this community. Thank you.
Thanks, Candace. And to introduce this month's featured speaker, please welcome up our board chair, John Marshall Moore.
Thank you, Chad, and good morning, everyone. What a great crowd for Brescia. Thank you for everything you all do for this community. Super important, Father Larry. We know Lauren does most of the work. That's why they need a couple extra seconds up there on the video. But anyway, in all sincerity, thank you very much. And at that, one of the distinctive alumni I have the honor to introduce this morning, Mr. Jamie Buskell. Jamie Buskell retired from Boardwalk Pipelines in 2022 after 35 years of service, the last 19 of which he served as Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. As CFO, Jamie spent most of 2005 in New York, taking Boardwalk public on the New York Stock Exchange and capping off the year with the ringing of the opening bell on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I don't think there's a lot of people in Owensboro that get to say they did that. During his tenure as CFO, Jamie was responsible for raising approximately $20 billion in both the equity and bond markets, primarily to finance acquisitions and growth projects. In 2018, Jamie assisted in taking Boardwalk back to being privately held, and at that time was appointed to Boardwalk's Board of Directors, where he served until his retirement in 2022. Throughout his career, Jamie served on various industry associations and was featured as the cover story of 2 trade magazines, the Pipeline and Gas Journal, and Midstream Business. Jamie is proud to call Kentucky and Owensboro home. In fact, despite his heavy travel load, he never moved. Over the last 15 years of his career, Jamie would travel every week, mainly to Houston, and would fly back at the end of the week to spend time at home in Owensboro. Traveling made it difficult to participate in Owensboro activities, but he did find time to serve on Brescia's Board of Trustees from 2005 to 2017, where he also served on the Finance Committee. Jamie is also proud of the education he received in Owensboro. He graduated from Davis County High School in 1982 and then attended Brescia University, graduating in 1986 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Managerial Accounting with a minor in Economics. While working at Boardwalk, he obtained his MBA from Murray State University in 1991. Since retiring, Jamie and his wife Ann enjoy spending time with their growing number of kids, traveling, taking care of their horses on their farm, and spending time at their Lake Barkley log cabin. And with that, I introduce Jamie Buskell.
Good morning. One correction. We're done with kids. It's grandkids. It truly is an honor to be here today. As John said, I traveled a lot, so I didn't get to spend time attending Rooster Booster, so I'm really honored to be part of the group today. Now, some of you may say, well, Jamie, why didn't you move? You could at least reduce some of the travel. And that's a good question. It's a question I get asked a lot. And I have to tell you, there were times, especially when it was late at night, I was on one of those small commuter jets, we were flying through a thunderstorm, I'd ask the same thing, what am I doing? My wife, Ann, who's here with me today, we actually looked really hard at moving. We had a realtor, we were looking at communities, but it never felt right. I think sometimes we take for granted how great the state of Kentucky and how Western Kentucky in particular are to live. I mean, it's a beautiful country. Enjoy living here. It's great to raise a family. It has strong communities. Now, one thing that I've grown to appreciate as I get older in life is during my time at Brescia, being a liberal arts college, it taught me how to really pay attention to things like architecture, art, to respect history. And I would use that in my travels. I was very fortunate in my job. I traveled all over the country, visited many small communities, probably been to every metropolitan city in the United States at least once. But I would make it a point to really try to understand, especially the smaller communities, what is that community about? And it always amazed me that you could go to some communities and you could tell it was dead. I mean, a lot of the buildings would be in disrepair. You would see abandoned infrastructure. You didn't see a lot of people out and about, and the ones you did see, they weren't too happy. But you could tell at one time it was probably a vibrant place. And yet you could travel a few miles down the road and see the complete opposite. You would come across a community, buildings were well maintained, there was little stores, little restaurants, people were out and about. You could tell they were proud of their community and that generally they were happy. And I would always ponder, why did this community succeed and the other one didn't? And I suppose with any hard question, there's not an easy one-size-fits-all answer. But I've come to a conclusion that successful communities have some common themes. And I think it could really be summed up in that communities that take the responsibility of community seriously tend to do well. Now, you may be saying, okay, that's fine, but why do we need strong communities? Well, I'm a strong believer that every single person should dream big, have big goals, big dreams. And if you're truly dreaming big enough, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. It's going to take a community that will come beside you, that will nurture you, that will educate you, that will support you. I was very fortunate in my life. I found that here in Western Kentucky. And I'd like to share a few examples of that as I was growing up, how that impacted my life and my career, because I did get to see some of my biggest dreams and biggest goals come to fruition. Now, one thing that I've always enjoyed work, and I've always been fascinated with money, not for money's sake, but just how it works. So in the 4th grade, my dad and I went down to a local newspaper and convinced them to let me have the paper out in our subdivision. One stipulation, they said I was so young, they didn't want me starting out riding a bicycle, delivering newspapers. So I would pull a red wagon, delivering newspapers. And back then, every week you had to go door to door to collect for the newspaper. Well, we lived in a subdivision that had a lot of retirees. So when I would go collect for the paper, often I would end up sitting on the front porch listening to these retirees' stories. And I learned a lot in those stories. But probably the 2 biggest takeaways that I learned was that, one, I learned to listen intently. And the second thing is I learned that regardless of a person's journey in life, if you take time to listen, you can learn something. Now fast forward to my role as CFO. When you're out raising $20 billion over a career, you spend a lot of time traveling, meeting with wealthy individuals, people like Michael Dell, Foundation of Dell Computers, investment companies like T. Rowe Price, Fidelity. And when you go in, it would just be a small meeting. But I was always struck how some of those conversations were very similar to the ones I had on the front porch collecting for the newspaper. There was one big difference. When I collected for the newspaper, I was asking for about 50 cents. When I was meeting with investors, I was asking more like 50 million. But I have to say, it's also good for business. When I started my paper out, I had about 50 customers. A few years later, when I had to give it up, I had over 150 customers. Now in the 7th grade, we moved. And our new neighbors were Mike and Dickie Sopchak. And those names don't sound familiar, they're related to Malcolm and Sally Bryant. Dickie and Sally are sisters. And they picked up on my interest in business and finance. So Mike would have me over to his house, and he actually taught me how to read the financial pages of the Wall Street Journal. He gave me a book on the stock market. Dickie taught me about the real estate market, property management. That was the business they were in. So here I am, I'm armed with this new knowledge. I had a little bit of money from when I had my paper out, and since then my dad works for a telephone company, and I got a job as a custodian at night. So I was ready to buy my first stock. Well, I was too young to do it on my own, so we went down to Hilliard and Lyons, and there was a broker there named Rick Hopgood who was kind enough to take my stock order. Now, for me, it was a lot of money, but in reality, not so much. But I studied and found this stock called MCI Communications. It's a small company trying to take on the big Goliath monopoly, AT&T. Knew a little bit about the story. So back then, I couldn't afford the Wall Street Journal. We didn't have the internet. Didn't have all these news networks. So every day I would call Rick's office to get the stock price. And they were very gracious. They always entertained me. Well, a few months went by, and I basically doubled my money. I knew right then I wanted to be in business and finance. And I wonder today, if it wasn't for people like Mike and Dickie and Rick Hopgood, would my career have been the same? Probably not. So I graduated Davis County High School, getting ready to go to college. I was the first one in my family to go to college. I was paying my own way. I had a good job. I needed to stay close to home. So I researched the colleges and found that Brescia had and continues to have a very good accounting program. Now, not that I like accounting, but I understood that accounting was the language of business, and I needed to understand that language. So I enrolled in Brescia. Brescia was a great experience for me. The business professors, Dr. Frank Spring, Dr. Sally Asafa, Joe Gray, they did a great job teaching the fundamentals of accounting and finance and business. But being a small college, I could go into their office, and I learned so much from the stories and experiences that they had in their careers. And not one time did anyone at Brescia ever discourage me in my big goals and dreams. In fact, they encouraged me, and that meant a lot. So fast forward to 2005. The decision was made to take Boardwalk public on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, that is a very time-consuming process. You have to make a lot of filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, a lot of due diligence. You've got to meet with investors. So I spent most of the year up in New York, and I'll never forget the kickoff meeting. We meet at this major law firm, walk into this huge conference room, and it was full of attorneys and investment bankers. Most of them went to Ivy League schools. So I have to admit, I felt a little intimidated when I walked in that room. But soon we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. And I realized I knew this material. See, the fundamentals, whether it be finance, accounting, education, pick the subject, they're the same, whether you learn them at an Ivy League school or you learn them at Brescia. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the community at work. I started with Texas Gas soon after college. I had great mentors. Some are here today. Ernie Talaferro, Jerry Morris, Jim Hendricks, Susie Harris, Kim Conklin, Bob Best, Jack Ralph, Bobby Mann. The list goes on and on. And what they did is not only did they teach me about the job I was responsible for, but they knew I had a hunger and desire to know all about the company and all about the industry that we worked in. And so they gave me those opportunities to learn. And that meant a lot because when you become an officer of a company, you represent that company. You have to know about all facets of the business and the industry in which you operate. So I'd like to conclude with this. I think for communities to be successful, you gotta have individuals in that community that dream big, and your community has to be strong to support them. It's a hand-in-glove situation. And I believe the best way to do that is we have to remember to listen intently. I can tell you recently, conversations I have, a lot of people, when you're having the conversation, they're also looking at their phone. You can't do both. I think that's probably one of the biggest problems we have in politics today. People never take time to really listen to what people have to say. The other thing is, you have to learn that every encounter you have with someone is a learning experience. In fact, if their journey is a lot different than yours, you can probably learn more from them than you ever imagined if you would just listen. And finally, I believe that mentoring is key to being successful. I saw it in my life. But I think we have to be careful with mentoring. Mentoring is not saying, you know what, I'm going to mentor a few hours a week for the next 10 weeks. Mentoring is lifetime. It's a lifetime effort. And if you do it right, you'll learn just as much as the person you're mentoring. But I also think we have to be careful. As we get older in life, we get set in our ways. We kind of view the world of how we came up. And if we're not careful, we meet a person that has a different way of looking at the world, and we may shoot them down because they view it different. Well, whether we like it or not, the world is always changing. And you never know. That person you're mentoring might have the way things are going to be done in the future, and you just don't know it. So encourage them, support them, because you never know. You may be mentoring a young person that one day ends up on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange getting to ring the bell in celebration of taking their company public. Thank you.
Jamie Buskell. All right, before we get out of here today, just a reminder that the ribbon cuttings for the Amped Up Artistry are happening right after the breakfast. So if you want to be part of that caravan that goes to each one to see those, feel free to hop in. They would love to see you. And then also, next week's a big week. Owensboro Air Show. Who's ready? Who's excited? Cannot wait to have the U.S. Navy Blue Angels flying back into town next Thursday. This morning, obviously, we started a brand new tradition with our new members. And I think the first group up, that was Irvin Cable Construction, right? You all were first. You had to lead us off. So that was a tough assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook you up with tickets to the Romp Air Show after party at the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Some of the best seats you'll have, plus music after the show, so that's for you. So thanks and welcome to the chamber. And have a great month of September. We'll see you in a month.
And don't forget the Amped Up Artistry.